That's new as like a month or so ago. So
Oh,
we've
okay.
been left in the dark on our Macs for many years.
It did not used to work on Macs 3 months
I
ago.
know. It didn't work on Macs 3 months ago.
Yep,
Okay,
So this is all brand new.
cool.
this is really good.
So I think the main thing that Rob was wondering is he was going to have like basically his trust company was going to operate. There'd be like 6 or 7 people, right, Rob?
There'll be 6 or 7 people. Yep.
And then if they would be assigned like cases through this. Rob was just wondering how that would work, and
Yeah.
if you have any other like legal type like lawyers that you've dealt with that have used this or.
Yeah, actually, we have a number of our clients are actually law firms. Others are law firms that are really more in the information marketing space. And we've got others that kind of do a bit of both, where they're a traditional firm but do a lot of direct response marketing to drive business into the office. So we've added functionality into FuseDesk over time to take care of those kinds of customers and the needs they have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll kind of point out some of those pieces as we go.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Awesome. So for the purposes of our call today, do you want sort of a full, start to finish walkthrough for the purpose of anyone, or do you want to more do Q&A with you and I?
I guess just a walkthrough, I guess, because I don't really know, or well, I mean, I watched the one video that or the one YouTube introduction video to it.
Yeah, that tech talk we did. Yeah, cool. Awesome. So do we want to start at the beginning? We'll have you log out. We can log in. I'll just walk you through everything step by step, and we'll go through all your questions as we go.
Sure.
Sweet. So once you're logged out, we can go ahead and start recording, and I'll get us going.
Okay.
So let me know when we're recording.
Okay, yeah, we're recording now.
Awesome. So for everyone, if ideally we'll have edited that first part out, but if not, what you're looking at right here is our login screen. So before we log in, I want to point out just a few things for you. One is that the username that you're using here to log in is actually the exact same username and password that you use to access Infusionsoft.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So what that means is as you add new users into your Infusionsoft application, they simply log into FuseDesk and they're up and running. There's no extra configuration you have to do. That also means that if somebody is no longer with the company and you deactivate their account in Infusionsoft, they will not be able to log back into FuseDesk. All right?
Cool.
And the last thing is when someone changes their password or Infusionsoft forces them to change their password, that'll prevent them from logging in until they do so. So if you ever have someone who's like, I know it's the same password on the sticky note I have next to my computer, first of all, slap them for bad security, then have them go log in, change the password in Infusionsoft, and they'll be able to get right into FuseDesk, no problem. All right?
Okay.
Cool. Any questions on logging in?
Oh, no.
All right. So once we're logged in, to give you a general idea of the workflow, if an email comes in as part of an existing case, it's going to automatically reattach back to that case. If you have an email that comes in that is like an out of office or an auto reply, that kind of thing, we'll actually go ahead and just file that away for you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else currently goes into your unassigned queue. Now, unassigned is where the emails will go that need your attention to assign. Rob, are you in front of your email client by any chance?
Yes.
Cool. Would you mind going ahead and just sending on an email? There we go. Andrew's going to go ahead and send a test message in. Perfect.
I just sent one to you. Do you want me to send one to support?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do me a favor before you click send.
Oh.
No worries. Let's pop back over to FuseDesk. Cool. And that's working its way through the intertubes to your email servers back on over to us, etc. Cool. So what I want to point out is, see the green checkbox next to your name?
Yeah, that means it's a. Does that mean it's an email in Infusionsoft already?
Exactly. It means that email address that you mailed us from is a valid contact in Infusionsoft, and we've automatically linked it up. If you've got that red circle, it means it's not a contact.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, just because it has that red circle doesn't mean that if the person's not in Infusionsoft. It just means that email address isn't, and that's okay too.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So to run you real quickly through these different options across the top, first of all, you see where you're clicking that drop-down button you have. If a customer has already emailed in with you and they now email again, if it's a new case, we'll show you all other relevant cases that maybe you want to attach this email to that case. Now, for the most part, that'll all happen automatically. The only time this will happen is if the customer emails you with a question, and then they send a completely separate email, brand new subject, it's not a reply, and it's about the same thing. This would let you just reattach it right from here.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
So the take-em option would allow you up top to go ahead and take a case. So, for example, if you knew that, oh, this is a case that I want to handle, Take-em would let you do that. The close button higher up is if you have an email that comes in that's not a case, you want to go ahead and just close that out. So, for example, as you're doing your follow-up sequences, your automated marketing and everything else, you'll want to have that coming from one of your support info addresses that feeds back into FuseDesk, because your customers and prospects will respond to those emails. And what amazes me is every time we send out email, if it's an update, a system notice, anything, we get responses back from customers and prospects and folks we haven't heard from in ages who re-engage in a conversation and have a completely unrelated question that we just spark the interest to respond to. So for those are obviously cases. But you'll also have folks who will respond on back to an email and say, "Awesome video, Rob, thanks." It's not really a support case, but it'll still come in here. So for those, you can just go ahead and say close.
Or send them a canned reply saying thank you. I love it when they write those thank you letters. Sometimes they're really great testimonials even.
For sure. Obviously, if you've got a support case, that needs a response, go for it. But if someone responds back to your email you send out to 100,000 prospects about the video you posted, and they respond like, "I'll watch this when I get home," well, that's not a support case. I mean, you could respond to them.
But if they said, "I really like this, and I'm going to review it with my lawyer next week. Thanks for the good work. Keep it up."
Oh, yeah.
That's somebody that gets tagged to follow up with and maybe gets, "Hey, Joe, thank you. We'll be checking in with you next week to see what your lawyer says."
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you on that, Rob. And what you'll determine from a support standpoint is, when you feel a case an email should be closed out versus turned into a case.
Hey, by the way, you haven't done some wonderful white paper on how to organize widely dispersed support staff and make it work for a small business, have you?
We haven't done the white paper, but you're watching it firsthand right here.
I thought so.
Cool. All right, Andrew, we'll get running along here. So cool. Assign cases is pretty self-explanatory. Right now, you guys have one department, which is your support department. But what you can see under that is you have different reps. As you grow and you guys move to one of our pro or enterprise accounts and add different departments on, you'll see in that same list those departments and the different reps in the department. That way you can choose which person to assign the case to and which department.
Now, one of our big problems, Jeremy, is we're going to have to use a different app for the trust company.
Yes.
And we're going to have two, maybe a really lightweight thing at Asset Protection Training, with one or two people following up and Andrew watching over them. And but we're going to have more at the trust company. Yet they're not the same business, but it sure would be nice to be able to know what's going on both places without logging back and forth. What do you do?
Yeah, so we have a number of enterprise customers that have 5 Infusionsoft apps that have got 20 support staff, all accessing all the different FuseDesk applications and all. And sort of their day-to-day is managing multiple businesses. Just like your bookkeeper, is probably going in and using multiple copies of QuickBooks, as it were, or multiple company files. Or you have your legal counsel pulling up different versions of contracts for different companies. It's the same sort of style that, you notice up top we have that little number, that 7, in the tab in your browser window?
No.
Right where Andrew's cursor is there?
Yeah, I see it.
So that's showing that right now, Andrew, between unassigned and his inbox, there are 7 cases that he's working with. So you see the 5 in his inbox and the 2 in unassigned. That's where that 7 comes from.
Yes.
So if you've got 3 different FuseDesk tabs open, that's fine. Those are just the 3 different companies that you're working in. Now, that being said, that's just how all of our customers are currently doing it, and it works fine. The difference is going to be that we have some enterprise features we're working on rolling out this summer that will allow you to sort of jump between multiple apps from within one FuseDesk tab like this.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah, so when we wrap up and we wrap the recording up, I can show you guys some of the mock-ups and screenshots of what we're working on and what that might look like. Cool?
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, Andrew, let's jump back over here. Cool. So I'll show you just two more quick things here before we move on to unassigned. One is if you go ahead and check the box next to more than one case. So let's check off both of those. Beautiful. That enables the merge and assign dropdown. So if you go ahead and click on that merge and assign.
Oh, okay.
The whole point of that is, let's say, let's say, Andrew, you have a customer who emails in, Bob, and he's got a question about his order. And so he emails and says, hey, when's this thing shipping out? Before you've had a chance to respond, he emails again, different subject line, different everything, and says, oh, you know what? I just want to give you a new shipping address, right? So you've got two emails, same person, really the same case. You want to merge those. And so this is how you go ahead and do that. Now, by the way, the reason that's so important, if we go ahead and merge those, is if we didn't, then one of a few things happen. Either we're going to ignore one of the emails, which means the case will be an incomplete case missing half the information, or we're going to create two cases and only respond to one and close the other one, which looks like we're now not taking care of a customer on one case.
Uh-huh.
Or we're going to respond back to them twice, etc. So the merging lets you put them all into one case right there. Hey, who's that handsome guy up there? Look at that. Cool.
That's cool. Oh, and that's cool. I didn't notice that before.
Yeah, so by the way, one of the cool things about doing the training and getting into this is that there's a lot of really powerful features and functionalities to FuseDesk that you don't see until you start having more data, which is why it's good to have a real-life support address coming in. So like I can see you're discovering right now, for example, that we linked you to how many other cases you have open. That if you didn't have more than one case, you'd never see that. So cool. Now we're working on a case. We skimmed over the bulk reply. Let's just go ahead and click on your inbox for now. All right. So go ahead and check the box next to the Dwayne case and the Andrew test case. Cool. Let's click on bulk reply. Now, what bulk reply lets us do is, this is on unassigned as well, is it lets you choose a template, and you can now respond back to all these cases with the same template. You generally would do this from within unassigned. So have you guys ever sent a broadcast email out and like had the wrong link in there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, I've not done a single training yet where someone said nope, never happened to us. Like we've all done it. So, when that happens, you now get 100 emails back in from your customers, all saying, hey, the link's broken. I want to buy. I want to buy. You can now create a template and respond back to everyone at once. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I see. All our emails here. That's pretty awesome.
Did we do
and
all that?
What's that, Rob?
So we did all that. Good for us.
Yeah. Well, it's actually easier if you don't actually do this, Andrew, just as a test. Yeah. This is actually where keeping your templates organized into categories becomes really helpful. Because if you go back over to all templates, you can now choose a there you go.
Like a cancellation. Oh, okay, cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
We could say, yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so that's how you can bulk reply. And what's great about that is, since we're using Infusionsoft templates, all the merge fields, all the trackable links, and all that are available. So your cancellation email, for example, could have in there a link to re-up. Your cancellation email could use a dynamic, custom merge field that shows the date they started. You can go ahead and use a merge field for their city and state. I mean, you can put whatever you want in the templates, and that all gets merged in, even if you check the box next to 100 emails.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really powerful.
Cool.
And if at some point offline here, you can go to our use the help link in the top right, and you'll be able to look at when we talk about the bulk reply and templates, just different ideas that we have for you for templates. So you can click templates in the black bar in the middle. And partway down, sample FuseDesk template ideas. There you go. Yeah. So just if you're looking for some ideas You can do lost passwords for membership sites. You can do emails to save returns. You can do frequently asked questions. There's just a ton of stuff you can do in the templates that'll really save your team time. So they're not trying to be copywriters every time.
Yeah.
They can simply pull up well-written emails.
And Andrew, one thing I noticed, even though most of these people speak really great English, they don't write quite as well as they should. And this way we can eliminate a lot of the spelling and sloppiness that sometimes happens from undereducated people. If we get all the templates, if we get mostly the templates put together, we won't have near as many stupid-looking replies.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And now, towards the end of this, I'll jump in and do some of the more, management best practices for how you can oversee all this and keep everyone, doing what they need to be doing as best as possible. So we'll get back into that a little bit. So for now, let's go ahead and open up a case. We can, Andrew, we can grab your test case. It's fine. Now, your default reply template, I want to go ahead and just make a change on that. Can we hop into Infusionsoft? Yeah. Cool. Did you have a chance to create a default reply template yet?
No. Let's see, default.
All right. So let's go ahead and let's do that. On the top right, you can do add a template and choose email. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's go ahead and go to your settings for your application. In the top right, And under templates, the second category down. Yep, template defaults is fine. And in that category of template categories, let's go ahead and add a new one called FuseDesk. In the template categories box in the top right there. And you can put it anywhere in the list. Just go ahead.
Oh, wow.
Hang on.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's actually just a freeform text box that looks like a list, huh?
I thought it was a list select.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is like circa 2003 screen from Infusionsoft. Hasn't changed much.
Wow.
So, cool. Let's do save there. All right, now let's go back over to your templates, and we're going to create a new template in the top right where it has a drop-down for add a template, and we'll choose email. And for title, let's go ahead and do default FuseDesk reply template. And the categories up top, the tab that has categories and follow-up sequence, let's go ahead and choose FuseDesk. Yep. And we'll go back to the general tab there. Beautiful. Now, the from address, see where it has other? That's good. We want to go ahead and see where it has the word owner. Nope, we want other.
Oh.
Yep. Let's click where it has owner there. We actually want to use logged in user first name, last name. So you can either just type in logged in user with the camel case or use your merge fields. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do merge. And we'll go to logged in user fields, about 6 down. Yep, most common. And we'll do first name and last name. Yep. Now we'll go space in there. Beautiful. Now for the email address, let's do your support address, your support at. Beautiful. Subject line, just do RE : doesn't matter. It'll never get used. Perfect. Plain text is good. Let's go down to the reply here. Contact first name is perfect. And let's change the owner signature. We're going to go ahead and do logged in user first name and last name. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Now, do you guys sign off in your support emails like a best, thank you, have a great day, to your success, see you at the top, life is good? Like, what do you guys say?
We don't have any rules.
All right. What feels good to you guys? Yeah, thank you is fine.
Okay, yeah, I'll just leave it at thank you right now. I'll go back.
Cool. And below your name, I like to put, like, if you have a phone number, website, company name, anything else just below your name, I always like to see that too.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Again, we can always change the stuff later on. So let's go ahead and click on save for now. Cool.
Okay, and then it should go back to
Give me 1 second here.
Oh.
I lost your screen. 1 second. There we go. Cool. So let's go ahead and just refresh this page. Cool. So now you can see how the email, if you look at the from address, is coming from your name and the support address up top.
Uh-huh.
It's going to the customer's address. It's a little confusing here because you're your own customer.
Yeah.
And it's signed off on, personalized with your name.
Yeah, I see that there. It's cool.
Super, super cool. What this means, by the way, Rob, is as your support team grows, you still maintain that human connection of an individual taking care of an individual, even though all the emails come back to your generic support address.
That's wonderful. By the way, support desk should be a separate line when you really do the templates.
Yeah. You guys can clean all this stuff up offline, too. Cool. Yeah, I like to camel case domain names, too, so I'd capitalize the A in asset, the P in protection, etc. And once we dial this in and really get this template exactly how you want, this then becomes the basis for you to go ahead and use clone to create new. Hang on a sec. After that closes, let's go back and click on view case up top. Yep. Let's just leave it as is. We don't need to change it just yet.
Okay.
Cool. Let's scroll down, and there you can see Rob. He's got support desk on the second line now. Okay, so once you dial this template in, you'll be able to take this template in Infusionsoft and clone it and clone it and clone it again and clone it some more, and you'll be able to continually make new templates based on this. So what I generally suggest is you look at what are our top 5 most frequently asked questions, what does our staff deal with a lot, and you create a well-written template around that, and that way they have this at their disposal to use.
Cool. Oh wow, yeah.
Okay. Now you'll notice, by the way, we loaded a template up here, but your cursor is still in the box, and you can now type and change whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
So what this means is you can have a template that, for example, has a bunch of underscores, right? And your support staff knows just go ahead and fill that in. You can have a template that says, that addresses a question, but your support team should still go ahead and personalize that email by saying, like when a customer gets back to you and says, hey, sorry I missed the webinar, I was on vacation, just got back in from Hawaii last night. Sure, you can go ahead and just say, you use the template, sorry you missed the webinar, here's the link. But it's nice to start with that template, but then just drop a line in saying, hope you enjoyed the vacation, hey, how was Hawaii, Whatever it is to personalize it, leaving the heavy lifting up to the template you loaded up, but always personalize it. Okay?
Yeah, that's super cool.
Cool. So let's go ahead and look at, let's scroll to the top of the page, and I'm going to show you a few things in the case history here.
And Andrew, all the time that you're doing this, think about how you're going to explain this to 5 or 6 black ladies in Belize and make it sensible to them. Because you'll be training them.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I recorded it then.
Yes. And Andrew, I'm here for you too as well. So at the point you're getting ready to line up a training, we can get them all together, and we can do one training, you and I, back to back, and get them taken care of.
Cool.
All right. So a few things to point out to you. One is the case timeline up top, that yellow to green box, which shows opened, assigned, updated, resolved. That's just at a glance. If you're ever reviewing your team's cases and you want to know sort of where this is at, this lets you see, when it was opened, assigned, updated, and resolved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Really helpful in the timeline. Below that, to the right of that is that gray box that, let's pop back one. Yep, the gray box on the right-hand side shows who the customer is. So this is the customer's information. That one click on your name there.
Yeah, Rob, this is where you click and go to their Infusionsoft record.
Right. This program, I don't even know, this is not really a program, it's more of a, even bigger than a program, but this thing is real good, Jeremy.
Thank you.
From what I can see.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so by the way, Rob, that's where they kind of cross that line from using the easy-to-use interface of FuseDesk to diving deeper into Infusionsoft. So they don't necessarily have to have permissions for Infusionsoft, but occasionally some support cases may require them to do that one click. Andrew, go ahead and click that again for me. And they may want to be answering a simple question. For example, how much has this customer paid? And right up top in the account summary, Infusionsoft shows, how much the customer's paid. So they can just access a deeper profile from that one click.
One thing that I think is one of your greatest things is the way you change color as things age.
Yes.
And I know that you're going to make that so we can be controlling it. But
yes.
In my business, truly, the most important thing is getting back to them quickly, even if we don't have an answer. If it's just to set up a time, that seems to do more than being brilliant or right.
Oh yeah, and that's just it. Even if you don't have the answer, get back to the customer, let them know you haven't forgotten about them, and that you're taking care of it. That's like the biggest thing.
Yeah, and when we have the power to change it to 24 or lesser times for the initial response, I sure can't wait to do that.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and when we wrap up this recording and turn that off, I'll go ahead and share my screen here and show you guys some real cool stuff.
Okay.
Cool.
Sorry, let's see. What were we?
So you got all the cool screens up in San Francisco, huh?
No, actually, some of it's rolled out, but your account doesn't have enough data for the reports to. So I'll show you my screen. We'll look at some other accounts that have more data. Yeah. So let's go back to the cases.
Okay.
Andrew, you like getting like 17 steps ahead of me, don't you?
Sorry. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. I'm like that myself. That's cool. So let's go ahead and let's open up Dwayne's case. We can use that one. Actually, you know what? I want to show you something cool here, and this is brand new as of like yesterday. So see the case search box on the left-hand side? Yep. Whose case did we just get rid of here? It was it was your case, right? So let's go ahead and search for Andrew space. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Boom. So what we've just done here is, let's say one of your reps, Rob, gets a phone call, and they're like, "Oh, sure, sir, and what's your name?" They go ahead and type in the customer's name, and we now just pull up everyone in your database here that matches. Now, that search box is a mega powerful, quick search box. So, Andrew, go ahead and type your phone number in for me.
I don't believe it'll work with the phone number. If you make it work with the phone number...
Get rid of those dashes for me. Just straight up numbers, no dashes. Just lump it all together for me.
Oh, your number is associated with my...
So now, Rob, when that phone call comes in, while they're still saying hello, they can just be keying in that phone number to look up that customer.
Wow. That would be bitching if that could be automated, but wow.
Yes, it would.
Cool.
Yeah, now, what's neat, Andrew, you're like are you like the technical guy with the business?
Yeah.
Cool. So check this out. If you click back a screen, there's actually, if you go up to the address bar and just do like just throw a query string on there, question mark Q, at the very end. You have question mark Q equals and type your phone number in.
Oh, okay. So you could do like a grab their number and...
Yeah, drop the hyphens there.
Jeremy?
Oh, yeah.
When I do searches in Infusionsoft for phone numbers, it almost never finds them. I don't know what you're doing here, but it's working.
It's good stuff.
Did you have no parentheses? Just put in the numbers with nothing else.
Straight up number is the best way to do it for Infusionsoft. Yeah. So what's cool here, Andrew, and I'm sure you already know where I'm going with this, is if you can find a way to get your phones to do a screen pop on their screen with that query string pre-filled in, this will do exactly what you and I are looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, Rob, the phone rings, and their screen's already showing, who this customer could be. Which, by the way, you'll notice here, since we plugged in a number that only belongs to Andrew, we skipped right past the find a contact screen. We brought you to all of Andrew's cases.
Wow. Is there a phone system that you know that does that?
A little bit, and I've got to look into why that's breaking things on my side, Andrew. So, let's go back to the case to the side.
I'm sorry. Can you search for anything else besides?
Yeah. So go back to the case search box on the left-hand side. So we do all the quick search formats. So you can do partial names. So you can do like do the search box. So A asterisk space P asterisk.
Wait, I'm sorry. Asterisk? I don't know.
Star above the 8.
Oh.
Wildcard. There you go. A asterisk space P asterisk.
P.
Yep, space. Now do a space. No, A asterisk so for any name starting with A and any last name starting with P. So do P asterisk. Nope.
Oh.
P asterisk.
So the asterisk represents anything, right?
Oh,
so
okay.
A asterisk means anything that starts with A. P asterisk means anything that starts with P.
So if like someone misspelled something.
Exactly. This is great, by the way, if you've got a Rob, or sometimes he goes by Robert, you're not sure, you can just do, ROB asterisk. Or if someone's got a foreign name and maybe you're not quite sure how they spell it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I were looking for you, Andrew, and I'd never seen your name spelled, I might search for AND asterisk, space asterisk, UND. And that would find you as well. So you can do partial names. You can just do, just try Arthur.
Uh-huh.
So you can also do asterisk space Thomas, meaning any first name, Thomas is the last name. Do you guys use company names at all?
Not very much.
Okay. If you did, you can do those too. Email address is really powerful. So if you wanted to find, show me all my AOL customers, you could do, asterisk at AOL.com.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah. So that way, if you're hey, who's the other contact at that company, or what was the spouse's name, whatever, you can do a quick search that way. There you go. Now you got it.
Yeah, cool.
No one there?
No one's there, but
Not yet.
Yeah, I get what you're saying here.
Yeah, cool. So let's go ahead and plug your name back in, and we'll get back on track to, real life case. You closed a case up from a few days ago. Who is that guy? The reason we show you up front, by the way, is because you have the most recently updated case of the bunch. So if we click in there to the 3 cases, we can see all your cases. If we click back, let's click back a page. Let's say, Andrew, you've called on the phone. I want to create a new case. Go ahead and click on new case. Next to your, any of those, I guess. And this will create a new case and pre-fill in and pre-link it up to you. Yeah. So let's go through new cases here. So up top, you can choose who to assign this to. By default, we assign it to you, but you can, of course, choose to assign it to somebody else. Mm-hmm. So maybe one of the gals is taking a phone call, is taking a message, but really is somebody else in the office to take care of the customer. They can assign it to somebody else right from there. The status is a default of new case, but if you resolve the issue on the phone, which is ideal, you can make it, closed instead of new case. Mm-hmm. Phone calls are default because for the most part, you'll create new cases from a phone call. But if for whatever reason you have a different kind of new case, you can just choose note and do it that way. Mm-hmm. Summary, before you add case, no matter what color I put that yellow box in or point it out, no one ever reads it. So let me read it with you. Note, the summary line that you're about to type in here will be the subject line for any email correspondence in the case, so make sure it makes sense to the customer too. And if you read between the lines on that, what we're saying is, don't offend the customer and make sure it's clear.
Okay.
So saying, pain in the ass customer called for the 12th time today, bad subject line. By the same token, putting in some arcane, abbreviation that only you would understand internally won't make sense to the customer. So my good rule of thumb on this is think about if the customer were emailing you, what would the subject line of their email be?
Okay.
Okay. So, what's a typical question a customer might call you about?
Like a billing question, or their membership or their subscription membership, like a question about that.
Yeah, so you could go ahead and type in membership renewal question. That'd be a great summary. Mm-hmm. Because now when you respond back to them via email and they have an email in their inbox and the subject line is membership renewal question, it makes sense to them. So, cool. Yeah, you will need to do a little more in there. We need to have a good length summary as well as body too. So question is too brief in the summary. So tell me a little bit more about what the summary is. That's also kind of generic. Still too generic. What is their question here?
Oh,
What's a typical asset protection question you get?
I don't. I guess I'm not really sure. They're too different to really.
So, Rob, what's a typical question you might get?
Regarding, will an irrevocable trust assist you with asset protection?
There you go. So you could do irrevocable trust.
Provide meaningful asset protection.
Yeah. So for your summary, you could say like placing assets in your trust would be your summary, because that's really what the case is about, is placing assets in your trust, right?
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, this is all fine.
Andrew, we could send them a link to people who are getting divorces should traditionally watch these 3 videos.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want, you can buy a 15-minute consultation for $100.
Perfect. And that would be an excellent money-making template right there. Cool. So let's go ahead, just for sample purposes, let's go ahead and add this. Mm-hmm. And where customer had question reply with answer, I would put in more details what the question is, but we're just doing this as a test, so, we get it. So you go ahead and choose your template, type response back. Now you can respond by email, you can log an additional phone call, etc. So before we email back to the customer, I want to show you a few other ways that we can update this case. One is obviously replying by email. You also have the option to add a note. So see where next to reply by email it has add a note?
Oh.
Okay, so all right. So let's go to where it has add a note. This is where on an existing case you can add a phone call or a note to an existing case.
Oh, and then that gets added to their Infusionsoft notes with their Infusionsoft
Yep,
record?
all the notes and emails are in their Infusionsoft record. But more importantly, this adds the phone call to this case. So instead of just logging every phone call as a new case, the easiest and best thing to do is to add the phone call to existing cases where appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can go ahead and type in return call left VM or left voicemail, and the body you can say explain that offered to set up consult, whatever. Yeah. Now, before you click on Add Note, go ahead and say set up consult with Rob. So don't click Add Note yet. Yeah. Now, whenever you add a note or reply by email, you have options. See where it has Keep Case Open?
Yeah.
So this is where you can do something with the case at the exact same time. So if you feel this has resolved the case, you could choose Close Case and Add Note, and we'll do it both at once. If you feel this still needs the customer's attention, still needs your attention, you can do Keep Cases New. If you're waiting to hear back from the customer, you can do Keep Case Open. If you want to reassign it, you can go ahead and reassign it to Rob. So, for example, if Rob decided that he wanted to waste his time scheduling all of his own appointments, he could go ahead and reassign this to Rob, and now it's off your plate, and he'd have to deal with it from here. So let's go ahead and just do that, for example, and choose Rob from the list. And do Add Note. Now, an interesting thing is happening right now. So scroll down. Yeah, return call and left VM is too short. Hang on, you got an error message there, bud. So do change it to so that body, let's make it a little longer. Left message set up consult with Rob by end of week. There you go. Cool. Beautiful.
Now, is there a way to put a scheduled reply to that person? Since we we're going to get back to him by the end of the week.
Hang on, Andrew, you're scroll back up top for me. Go ahead and reassign this case over to Rob. Yeah. What I was trying to show there is if we do those at the same time, it saves you from doing the add a note, then going back and reassign the case. You can do it all at once. So let's go ahead and open this case back up. Cool. And down at the bottom, you'll now see this full case history of this customer called, you sent an email, you then logged another phone call, you then transferred the case over to Rob, and this entire case history is right here. So there's no worrying about, like, did this fall through the cracks? Who's taking care of this? Where is this? Did you forward me the email? It's all in one place, and it's very clear who's handling a case, who, what, when, how.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go where your cursor is going next and go to run an action set. So do you guys have a lot of custom action sets set up in Infusionsoft?
Yeah, I guess we have a few. Are those under marketing settings?
Yep, left-hand side action sets. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's go back over to FuseDesk. And type the word cancel.
Oh,
All right, so here are 4 of your action sets that have the word cancel in them. So offline, you can go customize, create, and have some different action sets set up. And what you can do is go ahead and click on the APT one. It's not going to run it just yet because you haven't clicked apply. But go ahead and click on the star to the left-hand side. Yeah. Now what that does is that just added that to your favorites. So now you can have a favorites list. So your virtual team can have a list of their favorite action sets that they can now just one click go ahead and click on that, click apply, run, and move on to the next thing without searching and remembering what things are called.
wow.
I like wows. You got 3 wows already, Jeremy.
Awesome.
Andrew doesn't give away wows very often.
Cool. Now, Andrew, if you think about the normal process for Infusionsoft, right, is first you got to search for a customer, then you got to bring them up, then you got to go down to the drop-down box on their contact record and choose do something. And then you got to choose run an action set.
Yeah, no, I was just
From
thinking.
There,
that's a lot easier.
It's about 17 steps, whereas here they got the one-click access to their action sets. And what's great, by the way,
we're not having to look through the damn notes to find out why they called.
Correct. Is it safe to run this action set on you, Andrew?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go ahead and do that. Just click apply.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna make sure.
You can scroll up top and click yeah to find the right one.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to see. I guess. Okay.
Awesome. So now we even show you this little summary of what just happened, that we canceled out one of those different subscriptions. We sent an email. We applied a tag, all that stuff. So let's go ahead and refresh this page for a second. What you'll notice now in the case history
shows up
not only does it show that the action set was run, it shows all the results of that. Infusionsoft never otherwise tracks that information. And what's really, really key here is this is part of that case. So you can now see customer called, you talked to them on the phone, you ran the cancellation sequence, you did, any number of different things, all part of that same sequence. Cool?
Yeah, that's cool. That's way cool.
Awesome. Cool. Let's hop back over to FuseDesk for a sec. Oh, if we refresh you in here, yeah, you'll go ahead and see all the different stuff you need.
Okay, I'm sorry. Where do I go in FuseDesk?
Cool. So any questions on working with an existing case before I move on from here?
Nope.
Awesome. All right, so let's go down. So now I want to share with you guys a few of the things that are sort of best practices and good just from a management standpoint. One is looking at all open. On the left-hand side, see where it has all open? That's a great way to view, any and all open cases that are, currently open in the system. Now, cases can be one of 3 different statuses. They can be new, opened, or closed. New cases meaning it needs your attention, open meaning it needs the customer's attention, and closed meaning you feel it's resolved. Okay? So those numbers in the sidebar there, that first one is how many new cases in bold. And that second number is how many total cases new and open in a given queue. That's why all open shows 4 out of 5. That means there are 4 new cases out of 5 total cases.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Just a quick aside. Don't go from where you are, Andrew. Go up, scale up, scroll up a little baby bit. Okay, see this? Somebody, Cherry, MBA, CFP, that person?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a typical call. That could be a $25,000, $30,000 client.
Yes.
And somebody that I'd like to call back. I'd like them to get an email back today and a call
Yes.
back from me tomorrow morning, or since I'm in court tomorrow on Friday. But they need a call or an email just so that they know I'm in court till Friday.
You want to see something awesome?
Yeah, I want to see how you handle it.
So go ahead and see. Go ahead and open that back up again. In the top right, see where it has Add New Contact? Check that out. Don't do that? Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Sorry.
You're moving
It's
too
all right.
fast.
Did you happen to catch that, Rob?
Yeah, I did.
So what happened is we took all the information from his email, and we linked the case up. We first of all create a new contact based on his numbers and phone numbers and everything else, and linked the case right up to it, which is really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, if you truly do get a new prospect, you can go ahead and link them up. Now, my question is, this guy emailed your support address. Where did he get that support address?
From our contact page.
Okay. So what we'll probably want to do, which will A, help you reduce your spam dramatically, and B, get you opt-ins from the get-go, is change the here's our email address to fill out our contact form.
Oh, I guess we have one of those too. I guess we have it both way for whatever way people would want to contact us.
Okay. Cool.
But I guess
we may also have butchered this guy's name. If we click on where it has the Ranga CFP up top, let's just go edit him in Infusion and change it to the Rangachari. Chary. Yeah.
So don't click so fast and assume it's right. You have to always check it.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't always parse it correctly.
Mm-hmm. Did we save him in Infusionsoft? But that, by the way, is a rather no. That's his
job title.
Not even job title. I mean, does Infusionsoft track suffix?
Track what?
It's not. I don't think that information is important. Those are that's the alphabet soup for his master's in business and certified financial planning and realtor of the year.
Andrew, will you please write him and let him know I'm in court, and we'll get back to him Friday in the afternoon.
Sure.
That's my first day back in the office, and I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do you want to talk to him?
So now that we linked
the phone.
Now that we linked the case, by the way, Andrew can scroll down and you can respond to it right from here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I guess I'll do that. I guess after our call.
Perfect. Right.
All
right. Let's hop back over to all open again.
This does not allow Andrew to schedule a meeting for me, though. It just he can send an email telling him, then he can assign it to me, I guess.
Well, I could set up like an appointment or something or a task for you.
Yeah, but I don't know what Friday's going to be, so I'm going to have to call him Friday after I see what my schedule is.
Yeah, and what's cool, like a real life example of that now is what can happen is, Andrew can respond back and say, I don't know if you want to go with Mr. Chari or Ranga or whatever you want to go with, I don't know, did you go by Attorney Lambert or Rob or whatever you go with is not available. We have some time Friday. He'll be reaching back out to you with a call on Friday. And at the same time as you write that, you can reassign it to Rob. And so now if Ranga responds back, it'll go onto Rob's radar to deal with.
That's perfect.
Cool. All right, so let's go back over to All Open for a second. All right, and what I was pointing out is on the left-hand side, it shows the 4 new cases out of 5 total cases, and that's what's reflected right here on the screen is you see 4 bold new cases followed by that 1 open case at the bottom. The 4 plus the 1 is the 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, from a management standpoint, what I look at is that color on the left-hand side. Are we all green? That means we're taking care of customers, getting them back to them sooner. If we're going to yellow or to red, that means on those little gemstones on the left-hand side that we're not getting back to customers fast enough. We've got cases that are aging and taking too long to respond to. And that's sort of an indication to us that, to reach out to our staff and say, hey, looks like we're not taking care of these customers. How can I help us get back to this customer faster, keep them in the loop, take care of them, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So from a management standpoint, I'm looking at that color, making sure we're all green. I also like to go over to sent emails on the left-hand side. And I like to take a glance through and look at, what are we saying? Sent emails is really helpful for 3 things. One is if you responded back to someone, it's helpful for you to say, hey, who is that person I just emailed? You'll find it here. Two is for your staff to view other staff's responses and sort of see, oh, I like how Susie responded to this. Oh, Bob did a good job responding to this one, etc. Mm-hmm. And lastly is for you, management-wise, you can take a look through all the cases and say, okay, are these guys writing like their text messages? Is the staff responding back and spelling things wrong? What kind of issues do we have that we need to deal with? Yeah. So those are the three areas that I really like to use sent emails for. All right, new cases we already covered. Let's go over to reports for a moment. Now, reports, by the way, like this new report selector down below is like all new as of yesterday, and we'll be announcing all that stuff on Friday. We've got some really cool new reports, but at a glance, these are the kind of reports that you'll be able to look at. The ones I care about, one that I'll show you on my screen in a bit, is on the middle right-hand side, the case movement report. Let's just scroll down to the bottom for a sec. Mm-hmm. Case movement. To your question that you're asking, Rob, that's the second row of the right-hand side. Yeah. What that's showing, hang on, scroll down to the bottom for me. Okay, so let's not move from here and just keep our cursor there. What this is showing, Rob, and I'll show you a larger version on my screen here in a bit, is how long it's taking from when a customer emails to the case being assigned, that's the blue, how long from when the case is assigned until they first hear back, that's the red, and how long from when the customer first hears back until it's resolved, and that's the orange. Okay? Now, what's really key about this is those are all additive, meaning the top of that orange bar is the total resolution time from the very beginning. So it's showing a mini timeline for cases in a given time period. So if your SLA is you want all cases resolved in 12 hours and first reply in 6, that report is where you can track that number and enforce that and stay on top of it, regardless of color codes on the side of the site.
Wow, very good.
Okay? And on the left-hand side, that little lily pad-looking one, that's new as of yesterday as well, the second row on the left. What that's showing is that's showing the first response time by hour of the day. So that way, for example, you might know that it's okay. Let's scroll back down again. Okay. That way, you might know that we have a large case volume. That's the size of the circle is how large the case volume is. During what hours of the day. The color is showing how long it takes to get back to folks. So that way, you might see that we need more coverage on Saturdays, or we need to have folks stay later in the office because we get a lot more cases during a certain time of the day, and our response time is terrible during that time of the day, etc. Okay.
Cool.
So those are just some of the reports that I look at. You'll find the ones that will dial in and make the most sense for you as you've got a growing team and growing support cases. Mm-hmm. So you can see how well you're doing getting back to your customers. The top right one, yeah, so you can choose all your different segments and things like that too. The top right, the first response time, this was actually created because one of our law firm clients does a lot of direct response marketing, and what they realize is at the point someone's reaching out to a law firm for their area of law, they need an attorney. They need one like now. And if they don't get a call back pretty soon, that customer's going back to the yellow pages, is calling the next attorney, and that cost per lead is now wasted money. So what that report allows you to do is look at what your first response time is, so you can really track how long are we taking until we get back to a customer initially.
That is exactly our business. It's if you do it in 10 minutes, you get a lot better results than if you do it in 10 hours.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so this will let you track that number. Let's actually go ahead and click on that one, Andrew. You guys might have enough data for at least a few points on there. No. That's okay. I'll show you. You know what? Change that date in the top right to 7/18. Yeah, so we've got a very data useless graph, but what you can see here is we're showing in the orange is how long, how many hours till that response. The red shows how many cases were created that day that had no response, which is kind of horrible. That means like a customer emailed in and for whatever reason, just no one ever replied to them ever. Which maybe for today's cases is okay, but if we're looking at cases going back a few months and you've got cases with no response, that either means they never should have been cases in the first place, or someone tried to put a case underneath the carpet and said, oops, nope, there's no case here, and never responded. Mm-hmm. Okay. On the right-hand side, Andrew, you'll like this. See that little Excel icon next to the dates?
Yeah, you can download an Excel file.
Yes, sir. Any of these reports you're looking at, you can get the raw data in a CSV file. So if you guys want to geek out and import it into your own system or do something with it or whatever, you can always do it right from there. Okay. Let's click on Preferences on the left-hand side. All right, so you're an admin on your Infusionsoft account, yes?
Yeah.
Cool. So all those options on the left will work for you. For all of your reps, all they'll be able to access is My Preferences. All the rest of that stuff is only for admins. So on the left-hand side, you can click on Departments, Support Reps, and all those different things, and get a better look at your application. So here's where you can see your one department and how your reps are assigned. With more reps and departments, the screen is longer and bigger and has more things for you to configure.
Mm-hmm.
Support reps will show you everyone who's logged into your system, as well as it shows you that Micah has an account in your Infusionsoft and has never logged into FuseDesk. And so as you grow and add additional staff, you'll be able to see who we've locked out, who's been added, and who could be added. Okay.
Cool.
App options on the left-hand side lets you configure some of your app options. And this is where you can change your API key. You can change, how we link cases up, and this is like a screen you'll never really go to a whole lot, but it is here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sweet. In terms of as we add new things, we typically put it on our blog, which we email you about. We also usually add new help documents in the top right. So if you click on help in the top right there.
Oh, sorry.
You'll see like one of our newest posts in the top right is how do I search for cases, which is exactly what we just went over, as well as gives you a bunch of examples of different ways you can search for things too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll have new stuff there. If you're looking for answers, you can always go there. Of course, you can also email our support address, and we'll take great care of you there too. Cool. Any more questions you want to cover while we're doing the recording before we move to the some of the off recording stuff?
I guess that's all I had to really ask. Got everything answered for me today.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Do you want to go ahead and stop that recording, and we'll switch back over to me here?